Yeah, what happened in YouTube? I am the phenomenal JJS back for another video, and we are going to, if you can't tell by the back of this, it's going to be a detective video. Very different. I usually react to stuff. I don't really take quizzes that much. That's if you're talking my NFL quiz. I checked that out. That was a weird video. I don't know. So, yeah. But I'm not very good at this stuff, so I'm going to call in a detective. An actual detective, yeah. An actual detective. Yeah, okay. How do you work? Oh. Okay. I am Detective Deadpool. I've kidnapped JJS. My mask clickered. Yeah. Hey. I look great. Yeah, I look good right now. Y'all like have no idea how good I look right now. So I am detective. Why am I doing?
All right. 8 detective riddles to test how awesome your logic skills are.
I'm very logical.
Today, Brightside gives you the opportunity to feel like
Shut
a real
up.
detective by solving cases using just
Shut up
a
and
few
get to
hints.
it.
After each riddle, you will have 15 seconds to think it over.
We don't
If
care.
you need more time to think, just pause the video. And if you crack at least one mystery, hit the like button. All right,
Shut up.
Here
We ain't
go.
gonna like any of your dumb crap.
Counting down from number 8, escape. Once a famous detective, Stevenson had to find an escaped prisoner. He knew the criminal was hiding in one of these houses.
No, he
But
wasn't.
he had to know the exact address so as to not frighten the criminal away. First, he took a photo of the houses with the help of a drone. When he looked at the photo, he realized where the criminal was. So, can you understand where that fugitive was and what helped the detective find him? You have 15 seconds. Your time has started.
Oh, wait, what? What the crap just happened? He was crawling out the window in the photo. He was murdering someone. He was doing something. I don't know.
Are you ready to check your guesses?
I don't really care.
The murderer was in house A. You see, the car standing nearby was the only car parked facing the road. It would let the criminal escape quickly.
Okay. Okay, that was horrible.
Number 7, detective's tragedy.
We don't care.
One morning, the detective had an argument with his wife and went away without his cell phone and the keys. In the evening, when he returned home, he found his colleague, his scared wife, and a murdered man.
What?
Stephen's wife told her story. I was sitting in the living room when I heard the doorbell. I thought it was my husband and opened the door. But a criminal pushed me, and so I stabbed him with a knife. The detective ordered the policeman to arrest his wife because she had planned to kill him. How did the detective figure it out? Time to rack your brain.
Hold up. So I gotta observe this very closely. Hold up. Yes, Deadpool wears glasses over his mask. There are no stab wounds. There are no stab wounds. No stab wounds. I am awesome at this. Beep. Beep. Beep.
Unfortunately, Mrs. Stevens indeed planned to kill her husband.
What?
She went to open the door with a knife because she thought it was her husband.
Ah.
Number 6.
I'm still great.
Friendly murder.
Friendly murder. Okay.
Mary and Ben lived with their 4 friends. One day, then came home and found Mary dead on a sofa. Bummer. He called
What?
the police. The detective arrived and realized that Mary had been killed not so long ago. He interrogated all 4 friends. That's what their stories told. Mia was in the kitchen and said she'd come home 2 hours ago and gone to the kitchen.
There are knives in there.
John was reading a book in the garden. He said he hadn't left the place that day.
John.
Jennifer
If he hadn't left, he would have known there was a murder.
said she had been swimming in a swimming pool for 3 hours. Jane was painting in her room.
No dip Sherlock.
Unexpectedly, the detective asked everyone to show him their hands and found out who lied to him immediately. That person was the murderer. How did Stevens uncover the criminal? Time is ticking away. Tick-tock.
Oh, it was Jennifer. It was Jennifer. Her hand is not wet. If she was swimming, she would have been wet. Wait, what was Mia doing? Like, she was like in the kitchen or something. Wait a minute. They did not find her in the They did not find her in the kitchen. Or it could have been John, who was reading the How to Get Away with Murder book. That's not a book. We got it. So it's either Jennifer or...
Who do you think the detective was checking?
I think it's Jennifer. It's always a Jennifer.
Well, time is out. Here's the answer. Pay attention to the hands of Jennifer. If she had been swimming in the pool for so long, the skin on her palms would have been wrinkled.
Okay, I did.
Oh, Jennifer, your pruny hands gave you away.
Okay, so I didn't quite get it right, but I got it right.
Number 5, blood ties.
Blood ties. Wait, what?
A millionaire was shot in the forehead at his own home.
Of course he was.
Detective Stevens spoke to the millionaire's 3 sons.
Why is it
Jack,
always
John,
Stevens? Like, can't we get like a Detective Mary? Why is it always gotta be a dude? You freaking sexist. Can women not be detectives? Huh? Huh? I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you.
and James, who were at
Sexist.
home. Jack said that night, John, their father... Oh, let me guess. The wife's name is Jane, I'll bet. Anyway, the father had been at an official reception. They arrived home and entered the living room. His father came in first, then John and Jack himself.
I don't know.
When their father came up to the stairs, James entered the living room and shot their father. John confirmed Jack's information. James said he had visited his friends that night. When he arrived home, his father had already been dead. The detective understood everything immediately. So, who was the killer, and how did Stevens resolve that case? What
I
do you
don't know.
think?
I think you're full of crap. Freaking sexists.
The word of one
Do
brother
you know?
against 2 others. A tricky case.
You know?
Or have you already figured out what happened?
I don't know.
Let's check if you were right.
I wasn't paying attention.
John and Jack lied.
I got better
James
things
had
to
killed
do.
their
I'm
father,
Deadpool.
A bullet would have shot him in the nape because he wanted to go upstairs. However, the wound was on his forehead. All right, I was thinking it was Jane, but no.
Sexist. I'm still recording, right?
Number 4, romantic journey. Mr. and Mrs. Clyde went on a trip to the mountains, but 2 days later, Mr. Clyde returned home alone.
Oh, Mrs.
He
Dead.
went to the police and said that Mrs. Clyde had fallen to her death.
Aw.
The next day, Detective Stevens visited Mr. Clyde
Of course
and
it's
arrested him for
Stevens.
his wife's murder. Clyde confessed his guilt and asked the detective how he found out he was the murderer.
Because he pushed her.
Stevens said he simply called a travel agent and asked for some information. What did the travel agent say to the detective?
They didn't go climbing.
is your version? Did it have anything to do with the insurance, perhaps? You have just a few seconds left. Do you know
This
the
is hurting
answer?
my eye.
The words of the travel agent shed light on the whole situation. Mr. Clyde bought 2 plane tickets to the mountains and only 1 return ticket. Ah, if only Mrs. Clyde had known. Hey, blame the Beatles. She didn't have a ticket to ride.
What? Oh, screw them.
Number 3, liar.
Wait, how does it... Did I see that right? How the frick do you got so many subs? Your channel is... I'm not going to say anything bad.
A man told the police that he had come home from work to find his wife's dead body lying in the middle of the parlor. He said she had apparently found his gun in his desk and shot herself. However, the policeman knew at once that the man was lying. How did he know? 15 seconds.
The fingerprints on the gun was his.
This mystery.
So I'm going to just re-listen to it
15 seconds is all you
and figured it out. The desk was not in the parlor. If she found his gun in his desk and shot herself, wouldn't she have shot herself right at the desk instead of just walking right into the middle of the parlor to shoot herself?
The policeman noticed that the man had an empty gun holster attached to his belt.
Ah!
He'd either been about to take the gun with him or had it on him all along. The former couldn't be true because he said he'd come home from work and found his wife dead. That's why we are left with the latter. Not the latter, the latter, which proves that the man had actually shot his wife.
My
Number 2, silly murderer.
Silly murderer. They're just so silly.
The detective was speaking to a doctor in a waiting room when a dismayed man rushed in and screamed, "Somebody shot my wife."
Sure about that?
The detective asked the man to tell him everything. The man, Mr. Clark, said that he was at work when his housekeeper called him and said that something terrible had happened to his wife and that she was in the intensive care unit. He hung up immediately and went to the hospital. When Mr. Clark finished his story, the detective arrested him on the attempted murder charge. Why did he do this?
I don't know.
Can the detective read minds? What is your opinion? You have just a few seconds left to make your guess. In fact, Mr. Clark didn't know anything about a shot. His housekeeper only said that something bad had happened to his wife. No firearm had been mentioned. By the way, are you also keeping count of how many couples are killing their spouses? So much spousicide. What
I
does
think
it say
6
about
so
our
far.
society? Well, firstly, the killers all screw it up, but I digress. Finally, number 1, the murder of an aristocrat. George Smith was murdered on Sunday evening. There were 5 other people in his house. Mr. Smith's wife, I'm betting she did it. His personal cook, a butler, a housemaid, and a gardener.
Where's
They
the girl?
all
Oh,
told Detective Stevens what they were doing that evening. Mrs. Smith was reading a book near a fire.
I don't know where I left off. I just had to go leave for a second. I'm back with the video.
Mrs. Smith was reading a book near a fireplace.
Okay, let's all remember that it was a Sunday evening.
The cook was making breakfast.
Oh! Exposed! Exposed! It was a Sunday evening. Who would make breakfast on the evening? Unless if you're making some sort of thing that takes all night, that's bullcrap.
The butler was giving instructions to workers in the living room.
Oh, that's mean.
The housemaid was washing the dishes.
Yes, that makes sense.
The gardener was watering plants in the greenhouse.
Okay.
Right after all the conversations, the detective arrested the murderer. Who was the killer? And how did Stevens find the criminal? Will you be able to solve this riddle in 15 seconds?
Yes, the cook.
If
I
you
did
want
it
more
in
time
2
to consider
seconds.
this case, you can always pause the video.
Eat, bait, ding, ding, ding.
Well, what is your answer? The criminal was the cook. Of course he was. I knew that all the time. The murder was committed in the evening, but he said he was making breakfast. He had to pay more attention to what he was saying. You know what I think? Mrs. Smith paid the gardener to kill her husband because he was having an affair with a housemaid. It all fits. So, let's wrap this up. How many riddles have you solved and which...
Okay, so that was my video for today. Signing out at Deadpool. So, goodbye. I don't care about any of you.